I do have leverage. So as we continue to talk about these quarterbacks in this draft, a lot of people think, why would Joe Burrow have leverage at that number one spot? This is what he said further on. I do have leverage, have their process, the Bengals do, and I have my process. We haven't even gotten to the NFL Combine yet. There's a lot of things that happen leading up to the draft and a lot of information gathered. So Adam Schefter's been here and said, put it on the bottom line. Joe Burrow's going number one to the Bengals. He's now saying that he has leverage. Mr. T, does he have leverage?
He has zero leverage. This hasn't happened since 2004 when Eli Manning orchestrated a trade from the Chargers to the Giants. He has zero leverage.
I don't agree. I'll tell you why. To be clear, I understand that he doesn't have literal leverage, but he has figurative leverage. If you're the Cincinnati Bengals, and again, if he really does want to engineer an Eli Manning and get himself out of there, he's going about it all wrong.
Correct.
This is something that needs to be done very quietly behind closed doors, where he goes to them and says, look, I don't want to be here. And if you're the Bengals, do you want the guy if he desperately doesn't want to be there? So you allow them to engineer a trade where they get a boatload of picks and they look like they win and got what they wanted in this thing. That's the leverage he has.
But Greeny, I see it differently. Here's why. When you draft a player, you have his rights for 5 years, so you have plenty of time to work through that. It's not like a free agency situation. And if you think he's the best player and he's the best fit, you take him. And then as an organization, you work really hard to win him over day by day. So I know it's not the ideal situation, but if you believe Joe Burrow is the best player, you take him and then you work on it.
Here's what I think everybody's forgetting, though, Greeny. Burrow's last name is Burrow. It's not Manning. Manning had leverage inherently because that last name grants you leverage, both with Peyton and obviously with Archie. What Burrow isn't saying is actually what speaks all the volumes. You're the number one pick, guaranteed the number one pick should be, barring anything crazy. You say, I'm eager to be a Cincinnati Bengal. I can't wait to get there. They're about to throw you a boatload of money and guarantee it. But Burrow's sitting here saying things like, I have leverage. He seems very non-committal, not good at all.
He's also a kid from Southeast Ohio.
Right.
I mean, this was very surprising from the standpoint of the ties that we know he already has there.
I think Joe Burrow is going to be the number one pick, and I think the Bengals are going to be the team that takes him, and I think he's going to play for them. I believe Adam Schefter, and he's got sources that go beyond mine. Mine are telling me there's no reason to be scared off of this story about Burrow going number one. It is 2 months until the draft. It is lying and deceit season. The Bengals are allowed by rule to sign Joe Burrow right now. That's if you have the number one pick, you can do that. But the league hates that. They wouldn't want to do that. They want to go to Vegas and have the commissioner stand up there and say, with the number one pick and everybody. So you're just going to hear more and more. On the day of the draft last year, there were sources that were calling and telling you, Arizona likes Quinnen Williams. They might take a number. It was pure bull. Right. And people went with it. But that's the way it goes.
I get all of that. I'm in no way suggesting that this isn't going to happen. I was merely addressing the notion that he doesn't have leverage. If he doesn't want to be there, and it doesn't sound like he does, because to your point, Nacho, if he wanted to be there, there's nothing prohibiting him from saying, I can't wait, this is my dream,
exactly.
I grew up there. So he doesn't sound like he wants to be there. And frankly, why would he want to be there?
There's nothing prohibiting him unless he's in on the gag, right? Like, hey, let's nobody say anything. Let's not act like it's all said and done.
I don't think that's it, Ralph. I think he's looking.
I'm allowed to have my theory.
He's looking at his career, and yes, you are obviously, but he's looking at his career and realizes it's not how you start, it's how you finish. If he goes to Cincinnati, a situation that is clearly in a ton of mess and disarray, it will not go well.
We're so glad you're watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports and analysis, download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, make sure you subscribe to ESPN Plus. We'll see you there.